Did you know that 80% of hacking-related breaches are due to weak or stolen passwords? Imagine this. A hacker guesses your password in seconds, gaining access to your sensitive data, your company's network, or even your bank account. Scary, right? But what if I told you there's a way to bulletproof your security, making it nearly impossible for hackers to break in? In this video, I'll reveal the secrets to creating unbreakable passwords, the power of two-factor authentication, and how biometrics can take your security to the next level. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at passwords the same way again. Password vulnerabilities. Most systems in a corporate network use some type of authentication to accept or deny user access. When users access a system, they are usually asked for a username and password. A username is pretty easy to guess compared to its name. That's why you should be careful not to use a default password or a text string that is easy to guess. Otherwise, it would be very easy for a malicious person to access the user's system. The ideal is to put yourself in the shoes of the malicious person to see if the password you choose is easy to guess. For example, you should strongly avoid these types of passwords such as password, or password 123, or 123456. And of course, also avoid the user large password pair by admin. A hacker can either try to find the password manually, i.e. by trying them one by one, or with the help of software, which will use a dictionary of the most common passwords to try to guess the user's password. This type of method may still take some time and can even be computer resource intensive. To mitigate the risk of password attacks, an organization must implement policies across all of these users. For example, it could impose long passwords, consisting of a combination of uppercase and lowercase characters, as well as numbers and even some special characters. The goal is to make the password very complex, so that it is difficult to find by a password attack. In addition, the ideal would even be to require that they be changed regularly so that long password attacks do not have time to find it. Password alternatives. A business may also consider using alternative credentials that bring more complexity and security. This is called two-factor identification. This ensures that you are the only person who can access your account, even if someone else knows your password. The second identifying factor could be a dynamic change key, a message containing a time-limited code, a digital certificate, or even biometric identification. This takes the system even further by asking for something you are as a factor. The idea is to use a physical attribute of a user's body to identify that person. Physical attributes are usually unique to each individual's body structure and therefore cannot be easily stolen or duplicated. For example, a user's fingerprint can be analyzed and used as an authentication factor. Other examples of this second identifying factor would be facial recognition, palm prints, speech recognition, iris recognition, and even retinal scans. So of course, some methods are more reliable than others. For example, facial recognition systems can be fooled when presented with photographs. And even the imprints and the iris can be altered by injuries or simply by the aging of the person. To counter these weaknesses, it is possible to combine several biometric identifications to authenticate users. The table lists the key ideas for each alternative to password authentication. A good approach, what a company could have to improve security, would be educate its users through an enterprise security program. Most users may not be computer literate which makes them vulnerable to outside attacks. For example, if the company's users receive an email containing a hidden threat, well, they might be tempted to follow a link in the email pointing to a malicious site. This would have the effect of infecting the user's computer by opening a door, i.e., an access, which would introduce malware or a worm. This is why it is important to raise awareness of IT among its users in order to improve its security. For effective security, this support program will have to focus on several basic elements. It is necessary to start by raising awareness among users. That is, they must be informed about the need to protect the company's data, as well as their own personal information. They must also be informed of the various threats that exist and provide them with a procedure for reporting security incidents. The program should also include training for users, where they will be required to participate regularly in order to become familiar with all the company's security policies. And finally, the company must be equipped with physical access control. That is, all rooms containing network cabinets or locations, or where company data is stored, must remain securely locked. The ideal is even to have access by badge to sensitive premises, which represents a scalable solution and makes it possible to keep track with a timestamp of the different people who have had access. In addition, with this kind of system, it is very easy for network administrators to control access and delete them quickly, for example, when an employee leaves the company.